One of the most striking facades on the route from Charles Bridge to Old Town Square is the house at the Golden Well. There are two separate ghost stories set there. Being close to the river, the house had its own well in the basement. Rumors had circulated that the water in the well had a strange golden glow. A housemaid named Lubomira was cleaning in the basement, and she bent over to look down the well and get a better glimpse of the golden glow. But she slipped on the wet floor and fell down the well. Her desperate cries for help went unheard. When dinner failed to be served, the master of the house, in no good mood, went looking for her. He found the maid in the well. He didn't pay for a funeral, and she was quickly tossed into a common grave. Her relatives lived far away in Slovakia, and he never bothered to tell them, as sending a message would have cost money. The law required that the well be cleaned thoroughly so as not to spread disease. Plagues and cholera were common at the time. The master of the house cleaned it himself so as not to have to waste any money. When scrubbing the wall of the well, some stones fell loose and he found the long-rumored treasure of gold coins, and kept them for himself, quickly spending them all. The ghost of the drowned maid began to show up that night, soaking wet from head to toe. Her nightly rounds took her up and down the narrow stairs looking for the treasure so she could return it to its hiding place. The master of the house soon found himself regretting his good fortune, but the treasure was gone and could not be replaced. He had to live with the dripping ghost to the end of his days. The ghost of the maid can be freed if one of the original coins is spent to buy her a tombstone. But there is no way to know what old gold coin might be part of the treasure, or even where her grave is. Another rather cryptic legend says that the ghosts of a headless Spanish knight and his wife wandered the house at night for years, but nobody knew any details of their story. Eventually, a baker moved in and made gingerbread in various shapes of animals and houses. By that time, the Spanish knight's ghost had not been seen for a long time. One year around All Souls' Day, the baker made his gingerbread in the shapes of rumored local ghosts, including the Spanish knight and his wife. But he put heads on them. In the morning, those gingerbread figures were broken and the heads were gone. He tried again the next night, and the results were the same. He asked everyone in the house, but nobody knew what happened to them. On the third night, the baker stayed in the kitchen to catch the vandal. The ghosts of the Spanish knight and his wife turned up, carrying their heads. The knight told the baker to take a good look so he could make the gingerbread properly and capture a true likeness. The baker was frightened nearly to death, but made a new tray of Spanish knights and ladies. The spectral couple said they were pleased with the results. The knight then told his story. Long ago, the house served as an inn. He and his wife were coming from Spain to pay their respects to distant relatives and to visit the infant of Prague, a miraculous statue that had its origins in Spain but was now in a Prague church. The innkeeper did away with the couple to rob them. It was too hard to get the bodies out of the building because the stairs were so narrow, so he decided to dismember them. He removed their heads and threw them into the river, and then buried the remaining parts in the basement. But the joke was on the innkeeper. The couple had carefully hidden their money. The innkeeper got nothing. The ghost of the knight said that if the bones were finally moved to a proper cemetery, then they could finally be freed and have eternal rest. The baker would even receive a reward for helping, the ghosts promised. The baker followed the instructions, with elaborate baked gingerbread heads in place of the missing ones. Shortly afterward, the baker decided to expand the kitchen. When he knocked down part of a wall to make room for another oven, he found the long-lost treasure. The Spanish knight and his wife have not been seen in the house at the Golden Well since. The house is also older than the current Baroque facade, which dates to 1713. The first mention of the building is in 1354. The figures on the facade are the same ones that are usually found on Bohemian plague columns, monuments put up to thank the heavens for the passing of an epidemic.
Thank you. Please like and comment.